First question, historic day today, 39th Clamaker Sheriff badge. Last one, he's not seeking re-election. Just give us your thoughts on his service and your being here today as part of this event.
Well, I've been to this event before, and I certainly appreciate the fact that a tremendous amount of people turn out for it, and it's got a really very positive and wonderful vibe, but I think that's a reflection to some extent of the sheriff and the way people feel properly so about the work that he's done. 39 years here as sheriff, started as a social worker, and somebody who I believe has always been a very forward-thinking leader and somebody who's always been sort of thinking about the next thing with respect to corrections generally. And in fact, some of the stuff that we've funded in our workforce development and our reentry efforts around folks coming out of prison have been built off some of the work that he did. And in fact, we included in our budget an initiative to expand on some of the work that he's done with his reentry program because it's been so successful in helping people find work.
Governor, this is sort of a political event. You were at the RGA yesterday. Did you hear Governor Pence talk, and what did you think about what he had to say?
Governor Pence spoke for about 20 minutes or so to the assembled masses, and he was as you would expect him to be. He was positive and optimistic, and really just talking about the future of the country. It was great.
And you thought his talk was great?
I thought his talk was terrific because it was as he is. It was a positive and optimistic speech, and he talked a lot about his time as governor of Indiana. He talked a lot about his time in Congress, and he talked about how important it was for the country to continue to maintain a positive outlook for the future.
Did it change your mind at all about the top of the ticket?
No, I've been pretty disappointed with our choices this year, and I've said before that I think Secretary Clinton has a problem with believability, and Donald Trump just doesn't have the temperament, in my view, to be president.
And Kurt Schilling is considering running for Senate against Elizabeth Warren. Would he have your support, or what do you make of his candidacy?
Well, first of all, I think like a lot of people in Massachusetts and New England, I admire the guy as a baseball player big time and as a pitcher. But it's pretty early to be talking about 2018, and generally speaking, if Karen Polito and I decide to run for re-election, that's going to be the focus of my time and attention in 2018.
When you make moving on to a topic about easy pass, it's a topic that a lot of people in Western Mass have been on recently. Overcharges at some of the tolling booths. People are worried about this whole electronic tolling system going on this fall. What do you have as far as reassurance? Will the rates stay the same? What can people expect?
Well, people are so our folks are doing some research to figure out what we can do to deal with the issue people had with the Easy Pass a couple of months ago. And that one is, people are working that. It's complicated to figure out. The gantry project started, I'm going to say 5 years ago, the open road tolling process, and the selection with respect to where to put those was made, I think, in 2013. And determining what the price model should look like for that, and at the same time trying to make sure it's revenue neutral, is something that our folks are going to hold hearings on and talk to people about, and make sure we can do everything we can to make sure that it's not a sticker shock for folks. But I think we all know that the gantries aren't going in the same places that the exits on and off the turnpike were. So almost by definition, that's going to create a little bit of disruption. But our goal needs to be to figure out how to make sure that for most people, it doesn't change what they expected or anticipated they might be paying to travel the turnpike.
The expectation was always to take the tolls out. Will that ever happen?
Well, we're certainly going to take all the toll booths down when the gantries go up, and the study that was done on the western part of the turnpike was built on the notion that if there was no work to be done on the western part of the turnpike, then at that point the tolls would come down. The study basically said there's a bunch of work that needs to be done, and it's work that a lot of people believe is important. What I can say is that any money that gets collected on the western part of the turnpike is going to get spent on improvements and betterments on the western part of the turnpike, period, which is as it should be.
Governor, can you comment on the SJC's ruling on the pipeline gas tax that just came out?
I haven't read the ruling yet. I know it came out this morning, but I'm not going to comment on it until I've had a chance to review it.
Last question here.
Any comment on the Democratic State Committee's opposition to the charter school expansion ballot question?
I think there are 34,000 families in Massachusetts who have kids on waiting lists. Most of them live in communities of color and in underperforming school districts. And I say this as a parent, not as governor. The most important thing I could do as a father was to make sure my 3 kids got the education that they needed to be successful in life, and I was able to make sure that happened for them. And all I really want is for every parent in Massachusetts to have the same choice that I and most of the rest of the parents in Massachusetts have, which is the opportunity and the ability to send their kids to the school of their choice. And that ballot question is designed to give them that opportunity. And I gotta say, I find it disappointing that the Democratic Party, which I believe is full of a lot of people who believe in equal opportunity and giving everybody a chance, would choose to be against something that is so important, especially to working class families in underperforming school districts. They deserve better, and they deserve a yes vote on November 8th.
Thanks, guys.
The Disability Law Center came out with a report this week regarding the Chamberlain School in Southbridge and it's the treatment of the special needs students. How concerned are you about the treatment as spelled out in the report?
Well, that report, as I understand it, I haven't read that one either, so I'm going to limit my comments on this. But my understanding is that report deals with 30 years of data and information and allegations. And in a quick cursory look through the report, I didn't see any dates. So I don't know. It may be that the dates are in the footnotes or somewhere else, and we'll go looking for them. But obviously, we take seriously any concerns people have with respect to anybody who's being served in one of those schools. And we'll certainly review the report with a fine-tooth comb and take any corrective action that needs to be taken. But again, that report covers 30 years. And until I know more about sort of figuring out which dates are involved here, I don't want to draw any conclusions.
As the Chamberlain School has called on you to encourage limiting or actually reducing or eliminating the funding for the Disability Law Center. Is that something that you're considering at all?
I mean, my view is the Disability Law Center over the course of time has done a lot of really good work, just as Chamberlain has done a lot of really good work. And again, having only briefly reviewed the report, I don't want to speak to the specifics of it, but I think the Disability Law Center is a good organization. I think Chamberlain is also a good school. So let us read the report and find out. But the big point I would make to you is that report covers 30 years worth of information. And I don't think anybody should draw a lot of conclusions about that until we have a chance to figure out the date specifics associated with some of the allegations and the follow-up on that.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.